areas.
Touchdown, Kentucky!
When Mitch called me and talked to me about being the head coach here at Kentucky, I understand the assignment. We are here to win banners.
Back outside. This is the point where he always hits it. Oh! Aaron Harrison beyond belief.
Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday to you. March 5th, 2026. This is Kentucky Roll Call on Big X Sports Radio, 96.1 FM, 1450 AM. TJ Walker, Corey Price, producer Matt Childress. It's Thursday, so Corey Price in the house. Stephen Peak will be a part of this radio show at some point today. Corey Price was dancing and showing everybody his goodies. We'll get him on the camera there. We only have one camera on the YouTube stream. I'll switch it over for Corey.
I think you should leave it like that for the entire show.
I haven't ruled it out. Corey's going to be a bit of an issue today because we do have the UK women's game going on right now.
That's true.
And Corey Price loves him some UK women's basketball. He's going to be distracted. And
I love all
distracted.
things Cats.
He's clear distracted because that's what all he's been talking about today. We've got the camera angle pointed in where we can basically see what you're texting, so we can see everything going on with your phone. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's like inside Corey Price's cell phone. What's up, Corey? How are you?
I'm good. I'm just texting someone right now. TJ is the worst host I can send. I'm doing good.
You accidentally sent that to me.
Yep. Yeah, I am a little distracted. Cats lost to Georgia during the season, but I think that was the last time that Key didn't play. So I figured with Key playing, we shouldn't have a problem. But we're only up 2 right now, so we'll see.
Better than losing, though.
That's correct. We did have a 7-point lead early in the game, so that's wish we had built on a lead, but
also was losing too. So.
And now it's tied again.
All right. Well, one thing I will tell you, we won't do play by play. That's not good for live listeners. It's not good for podcast listeners. It's not good for any listeners. Now, if something really cool happens, you can comment on it, like a dunk or something.
I think we're good on that.
Okay. Producer Matt, what's up? How's your Thursday going?
It's good so far. Came in here, helped Scoots out, covered the Hoosier Report for him, made a oopsie, recorded the whole show, but I had to get a caller on, and then as soon as I got the caller on for the final segment, which was about 8 or so minutes, I had to get up and came, as you were walking in, came back and forgot to restart the recording. So I already made one oopsie today. Got about 90% of the show, but it's not a good thing. So I already made an oopsie today. We got it out of the way.
Ooh, a lot of people, they just record the whole show for that exact reason, and then they go back and they take out the commercials.
You're right. I remember I did that one time, and a man who is across the wall over there told me he doesn't like me to do that.
I've never told you I didn't like anything. I have made the YouTube stream's going to be pretty hilarious on the show today. I have made a colossal error as when messing with the camera, it just all collapsed. The structure of which the camera was on came undid or undone. Now the camera's really way too in my face, which isn't what we're looking for. Corey's having to do a bit mechanic work over here as well. He wears many hats, Corey Price does. This is Kentucky Roll Call. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, 502-414-1450, part 292 that the YouTube stream
Let's hope it stays.
is more trouble than it's probably worth. All
Not
right.
much of a handyman, so we'll see.
But the thing is, I still need to fix it. It's still not. It's really not bad, but
It's pretty bad.
oh, okay.
And it'll probably fall off in 3, 2. No, okay.
Okay. All right. That still looks like it's going to be a little too looking down. Okay. Well, not the best start that we've ever had on radio, but you know what? That's all right. We've had worse. And that's all.
That's
really
better.
Yeah, it still looks like it's still probably like looking down my shirt or
I
something.
mean,
like that.
it's definitely looking down on you, but it wasn't as bad as it was.
Okay. Well, we'll figure this out. Yeah, it's all right. I think we can work with that. All right. Well, I'm sorry that you had a little bit of an oopsie. Where'd Scoots have to get off to?
I think he asked me for extra time so he could prep for his 45 high school basketball games he has to do in the next 3 days.
That's a ridiculous excuse.
I mean, maybe so.
Like, do that. Do that during Survivor last night, buddy. I bet you weren't missing out on Survivor time last night, Scoots.
Probably wasn't.
I
Didn't
bet
talk about it today. Must not have been very good.
you can skip work, but you can't skip missing out on any Survivor. It really wasn't that great of an episode, honestly.
I did go back and watch the whole 3-hour first episode.
Oh my goodness, that was way too long.
I thought it was good, but you're right. It did not need to be 3 hours long.
Yeah, the season's fine. It's going to be a good season. Going to be a lot of fun twists and turns. We've got a lot to get to on today's show. Been plenty of twists and turns on this Kentucky basketball season. If you'd like to text in, Gameday Men's Health text line 502-414-1450. I know Scoot said that earlier he was having some issues with text, but then I heard him reading some text. So I'm guessing no issues with the text line.
During just the Cats, Michael thought he had 0 half the show, and then around 9 o'clock, 10 of them came in. So they're there. It seems like they're coming in late for some people.
Okay, lagging a bit. Okay, well, we'll read them in, send them in, make sure that we know that the text line's working. Let Corey Price know what's up. Corey, you heading down to Nashville next week for the SEC tournament?
I am. I'll be there Wednesday through Friday. I hope I don't have to see us play on Wednesday. That would suck, but it's always fun. Nashville is crazy this time of year. Lots of blue. I hope I can see more than one game.
Yeah, hopefully. And you going to be ready to be down there for a game Wednesday? You going to get down there early enough if you've got to watch the Cats play?
Yeah, I'll probably get there. Probably 1 or 2 o'clock, I'd say, on Wednesday.
Well, if they're the 9 seed, they could
it's true.
They could be playing around that time.
That's true.
6 days from now.
Touche.
Potentially, if they're the 8 seed or if they're the 9 seed, they could be playing a week from now, right now.
That's right.
Oh, wait, are the time spots 1, 3? I think that's right, actually. I think SEC tournaments 1, 3, 7, 9:30. Not noon, 2:30.
It might be noon central, I guess. That might
yes,
be where you.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, Kentucky could be playing around this time next week. My favorite week in all of college basketball. I do wonder, just with the low expectations going into the SEC tournament, if that's going to keep some Kentucky fans away from going. Not knowing if you're even going to be there for the weekend. You're planning a Nashville weekend, and Kentucky may not even be there.
That's why I'm going to be there during the week, because I love my Cats, always will, but I don't see us making a run. It's been 2019 was the last time we played on Saturday in the tournament.
That's
right?
correct. Yes. Yeah, that's entirely too long.
Yep.
Unless UK. I mean, UK may have to. If they start Wednesday, that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They'd have to win 3 games in 3 days to even get to Saturday, which is only the SEC semifinal. Now, you've been working hard at SEC tournament scenarios, and
Yes.
it seems like the most likely case is if UK loses to Florida on Saturday on senior night at Rupp Arena, they will be the 10 seed in the SEC tournament starting on Wednesday. I think that's most likely. You're kind of shaking your head, but can you tell me?
The glass half full is the 4 seed, and 3 things have to happen for them to get the 4 seed. Arkansas has to beat Missouri, we have to beat Florida, and Vandy has to beat Tennessee. And I don't think that's a crazy. I mean, that's not insane. I mean, I think I think Arkansas should beat Missouri.
It's
Tennessee
a road game for Arkansas, though, and
Yeah.
Missouri coming off a loss, playing at home, needing a win. That's going to be Missouri's going to have a good chance at that one.
Tennessee Vandy is a coin flip for me, honestly. And then
Is Gameday Mens healthy? Because Gameday Mens playing, I think Tennessee won in Nashville. They were lucky to win that game. That one could have gone either way. And but they did pull off the win in Nashville. Can Vandy go on the road and get a road win? Not impossible, but Tennessee will be favorite in that game.
We beat them in Knoxville, and then obviously us at Rupp. The crowd should be great. So I mean, we played them well in Gainesville, so I don't see why we shouldn't have a shot on Saturday.
I think Kentucky will absolutely have a shot, but Florida playing like one of the best teams in the country.
That's true.
Kentucky coming off a 34-3 run or whatever it is.
Although I think Florida's closest game in their current win streak is us.
I think that's accurate. And again, Kentucky did
the
play
only-
them competitively.
It's the only game they haven't won by more than 10 points.
They're shooting really well. On the one hand, it's like you're getting Florida when they're playing its best basketball. On the other hand, maybe they're due just for an off night, and Kentucky will be hungry. I don't worry about UK's energy or effort level or if they are going to respond the right way on Saturday. So Kentucky's got a chance. I guess if I was ranking those things in terms of what I think would be most likely to happen, I'd probably put Kentucky beating Florida number one.
Oh,
As
okay.
crazy as it is, just because it's March, it's Rupp Arena, it's Kentucky. They looked really good against Vandy at home last week. There's no reason, if they're hitting shots, they can't do the same against Florida. I'd probably put Missouri beating Arkansas number 2.
Oh, wow.
And then I'd probably put Vandy beating Tennessee number 3. I don't think Vandy's going to win at Tennessee. Tennessee needs it. They're at home. They've already dropped a couple head-scratching games at home. I don't think they're going to add Vandy to their collection.
Well,
you saw how bad Vandy looked on the road at Kentucky.
It's true.
I don't think they'll probably look a little bit better. So still unlikely, but
For a few hours on Saturday, I will be fans of Cal again and Vandy.
yes, and then also if Mississippi State were to beat Georgia, that'd be helpful for Kentucky as well. If the other Bulldogs could pick up a loss courtesy of the Bulldogs. So you've been working hard at the scenarios. You printed off a sheet for me. It's incredibly confusing.
Lots of scenarios.
It just says a bunch of SEC team names. It's similar to The Shining a little bit. How long have you been writing this? 3 years.
I spent way too much time on that last night.
Yeah, for the YouTube
Way
viewers.
too much
I
time.
mean, without context, it's just nonsense, right?
It lists the winners of the games, and if those winners win, it's the seed that they get. Yeah.
All right. Well, if Kentucky were to not beat Florida, though, going back to the initial thing that I said, 10 seed most likely.
They can be. I think there's one scenario, and it's crazy, but there's one where they can lose and still be the 7 seed. But if they lose, they'll be the 8, 9, or 10. Yes.
Yeah, it's you wouldn't have predicted it in the preseason, but here we are with one game to play, and then also I said this with 2 games to go. I'll say it again with 1 game to go because it's totally true. Can never remember a scenario. Kentucky or any SEC team, their SEC tournament start date was so in flux going into 1 game. Can have a double bye. It's possible. It's not off the table. Could also have to start on Wednesday as the 10 seed. So it's not even like you're the number 1 team playing on Wednesday. Yeah. That is crazy to me. That's crazy, and it's kind of a competitive SEC.
What's crazy is we were preseason number 9 in the AP, and we might be a 10 seed in our own conference tournament.
Well, that's not good, is it?
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's certainly not what we're looking for. Injuries have played a factor. By the way, we've got some injury updates from Mark Pope. Is he speaking with the media right now? Producer
He
Matt?
is.
Do you have it pulled up by chance?
Give me like 10 seconds. I can pull it up.
Okay. But we may as well just pop in.
I got it.
Let's
We
see
got
what old Mark Pope's got to say.
Lay's playing, Pope talking, all kinds of stuff.
Is there like such a thing as too late to bring a guy back into if you're sitting around
perfect question.
tournament?
There you go.
Yeah,
Somebody hadn't played in
yeah.
2 months. Is that?
It depends. I think it depends how they feel, and it depends where we are. So, I think we're a lot closer with Cam right now than we are with JQ.
so we'll see. I mean, it's kind of a race to the finish line here. A lot of it will depend on how Saturday feels and how the SEC tournament goes, and but there's certainly space, especially when you're playing back to back to back to back to back. However many back to backs it would end up being. There's definitely space, and Cam has had a really positive impact on our team. He hasn't been able to play for quite a while now, but he also has a game where he's had a positive impact on the game, even when he's not maybe in fine-tuned offensively, just with his length and his mobility and his physicality. He's had a positive impact on us, especially on the defensive end. So we'll see. He's getting closer. He had a really good workout yesterday, a non-contact workout, and so we'll see where that goes.
Is there a timeline with him for getting back into practice or contact?
We're going to see if we can slip him into a little bit of practice today. I don't know if he'll get any contact today, but he's, we're pushing it with him, but he's also been working incredibly hard. He's made good progress. So, we'll see. The question is, once he gets into any type of full speed stuff, like how does it respond? And that's going to be the question we'll be asking over the next days and days.
Talked about a tag at Denzel. We've got two other seniors, Walker and Zach, going. I assume
Yeah.
they'll go through senior day. Just
Yeah.
What impact have they brought to the program the last 2 years? Especially Walker's kind of been in
Yeah.
a unique situation in his career.
Yeah, Walker's been awesome. I mean, he's born to coach, right? He's just going to be if that's the direction he goes, he's going to be a big time coach. He's smart. He sees everything that's going on. He can connect with every single guy on our team, wherever they come from, whoever they are. He's got a nice, steady demeanor about himself, but he's got a competitive fire. He's been so invaluable. We put him in charge of game day responsibilities that he handles all by himself. Where he's delegating responsibilities to players on the team. He just has been elite, and he's made huge shots too. He's made last second end of shot clock buzzer beaters. He's had a really tremendous career here, and he's been a real credit. And then Zach is like the story that you champion, where I don't even think he was hooping anywhere, and he just, besides the rec center, just getting it done at the Seton Center, just taking names and then he comes to walk-on tryouts with 60 other guys and earns himself a one-day contract that we renewed every single day for an entire season last year until he finally got a jersey. And he's made shots in games and stepped onto the floor in games. And then, the biggest, most epic success ever is, he's been going through this law school application process, and the whole team has been with him every step of the way, to where, last week when he got the news that he'd been accepted to UK law school, he announced the team, and the guys were close to tears. I think every single one of our guys felt like they were going to law school too, and so those are the stories that will never leave college athletics, that are so important and that all of us can relate to. And so we're grateful for those two guys, man. And they still have a postseason run in them too. It's going to be really special.
Do you think you'll have walk-ons moving forward, kind of with the changing landscape and everything, and obviously both these guys departing soon?
Yeah, it's complicated in terms of how legal that is now. So, with the roster limits and exactly how it's been delineated, we'll kind of work through that as we go. But we're kind of learning more about that. I think it's in my career as a head coach, I've had really, really, really successful players, and I've had way more successful walk-ons. It's going to be a walk-on in college sports, man. It prepares you to go run companies and lead organizations, and that's what my walk-ons are doing. Like, walk-ons are incredible because they come in with a skill set, and then they grow a skill set because you have to, and then you go on to be a great leader in our communities and society and the business world and every other part of the world, and so I don't know if it's something we can hold on to. Things are different now, but if it is, it's worth it because they have an impact on the guys on the team. They grow into incredible human beings, and so I hope that we find some form of space or something for that.
Oh, I wanted to see if the next question was any good. producer.
Oh, I thought you meant
Oh,
that.
that
That
was-
was the next
No, I
question.
mean, no,
Ouch.
that one was a total snoozer, and I'm so sorry everybody had to sit through that walk-on question. I nearly fell asleep.
Sorry, I thought you.
I was like, all right, if this next one is bad, then we'll just cut
Okay,
it. But
I
I wanted
thought
to see
you
what
meant
the next
like
one was.
the one that was the walk-on question was the next one.
No, that was the current one.
You mean I still have it right here? Hold on.
Well, now we didn't get to hear what the question was. All right, just play it.
The surface of what he could be. He's got some things that he's going to overcome in his journey to reaching his ceiling as a player. But if he can do it, he's got a chance to be special. And I love the fact that he's dying to play right now. Like, he's dying to play. Like, he just, and
Cam or
he's-
JQ?
He's doing everything he can to get in.
I know you can't talk about names in recruiting, but
Ooh, we'll
do you
keep this
have,
one.
like a system for trying to keep straight who might be eligible, who won't be eligible when you talk about kind of especially guys who have maybe had pro contracts or played in the G League, and pursuing people who may or may not ultimately, be able to play golf.
Yeah, everything with recruiting is sensitive, just what we're allowed to talk about. But in terms of the general structure, you have potential avenues in every level of sport right now for recruiting. It's just new. And in some of that, you don't even know exactly how it's going to pan out. But everywhere that the NCAA declares is legal for us to recruit, we'll explore in depth. We're not going to, I'm not trying to go rewrite any rules, but whatever rules there are, we'll play in that space. Some of the rulings, there are some nuances that are still unclear as always that we're trying to figure out. But in terms of our, what's interesting is I'm not going
telling me
to
when
make
to
them
take a
public
commercial
because that
break?
would be illegal. But
Not gonna obviously
your
cut off a
recruiting
question.
board becomes so massively expansive, especially because things happen so fast, and so there's a ton of speculation about possibilities that you're trying to take in real time, just so you have at least done a bunch of war gaming. So that's what you do, a bunch of war gaming, thinking through 1,000 different scenarios so that when you get to it, you can kind of be as close to it as you can. And there's a lot of dynamics that go into that. Okay, thanks, guys.
All right, that was Mark Pope previewing the Florida Gators Kentucky Senior Day. Corey, I have been doing radio a long time. I don't need you to tell me when to take a commercial break, especially during the middle
was
when Mark
a
Pope
suggestion,
when Mark Pope is talking.
not a demand.
And secondly, I wanted to, if I would have cut off right there, we couldn't listen to Mark Pope stimmer and stammer for another 3 minutes about how he has no answers for recruiting.
Yeah, the texters really loved listening to Mark Pope talk about walk-on.
I'm sorry about the walk-on question. If I had known that he was going to go on for 5 minutes about walk-ons, I would have cut out. I would have dipped out immediately, and we probably should have done that. That being said, the next question was either about Cam or JQ. We don't know which one because Matt turned down the volume, so we didn't get to hear that. And then we got a recruiting update, which was just more nothingness, which, again, we're kind of having fun with all of that. But I'll be so ready for either Mark Pope or another coach to go into a recruiting conversation with reporters and actually show a little confidence. I'm so sick of it's a new space. We're going to follow the rules when we can try to follow the rules. We're navigating everything. We're monitoring everything. Dude, I just so badly need you to come in and say, we're going to get some dudes. I know we're going to get some dudes. And if I miss on a dude, then we'll go get another dude. And that dude that didn't pick us is going to regret not playing for us. I want a coach that just has some you-know-what. All right,
Somewhat.
Corey, can we take a commercial break now? You think that's a good time to do it?
I think it would be a great time.
All right, the Cats are up 52-46 on Georgia in the SEC. Second round, a spot with South Carolina in the quarterfinals on the line. Make that 54-46. This is Kentucky Roll Call Trivia Thursday with Corey Price coming up next on Big X Sports Radio. Back, Kentucky Roll Call on Big X Sports Radio. TJ Walker, Corey Price, producer Matt Childress. 96.1 FM, 1450 AM. We're on the YouTube. The podcast, I'll just reiterate this again. I don't think there's an update. If there is an update, I haven't been told. But our podcasting page is separate from all of the other shows here on the station. All the other shows on the station go to podcasting at one platform. Ours is different. We have been locked out of our email, basically. Not to just, that's kind of like the long and the short of it. We've been locked out of our email. We were able to recover it, but the account is now locked. They said that the account was doing some bad things. That's impossible, I've been told from Scoots, because he's the only person that does anything with that account or something.
So Scoots has been doing some bad things.
And Scoots is taking care of it, and he's going to make everything all better. He's fixing things for us. So in the meantime, we're locked out of our podcasting page. We're uploading Kentucky Roll Call to the Big X Sports Radio podcasting page. So just search Big X Sports Radio. I think it's Big X Sports Radio 96.1/1450 is the official title for it. And just subscribe to that, and yeah, you'll get some other shows as well. Listen to them. They're great, all of them. But if you don't want to listen to those, you obviously don't have to, and then you'll at least still be getting Kentucky Roll Call, and you'll be able to listen to that. But hopefully maybe by tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, sometime next week, we'll get access back to our podcasting page and won't have any issues with that. But you can always watch on YouTube. That can serve as your podcast 24/7. Listen on 1.25, 1.52 times speed. Make it go by a little faster if you want. And you can see our beautiful face, my Bellarmine hat, and briefly Corey Price there at the beginning of the show. I ain't going to mess with the camera again, though. I think I learned my lesson there. We could just pass the camera back and forth and do it like Blair Witch-style project, where we kind of hold it underneath our noses, and you can see our boogers and our snots and stuff like that if you want to.
That would be amazing.
But if I touch the camera again, we may have to do that. All right, Corey Price, it's Trivia Thursday here on Big X Sports Radio's Kentucky Roll Call. Take it away.
Nice big shot. All right, March 5th birthdays. Starting off with New York Jets quarterback Justin Fields. And I love the Music Man.
I do too. Great call. Justin Fields. How old are you thinking here?
I mean, he's definitely going to be in his mid to late 20s. Definitely not. I don't think 30, though. I'm going to say he's between like 26 and 28.
I was thinking the exact same thing. I was thinking between 25 and 30.
I'm going to say he's 27.
Yeah, I think that's a good guess. That's what I would have said. I'll say, do we think he'd be a year older or a year younger if we had to guess? I'd say a year older if I just had to guess. I'll say 28, but I think it's 27.
Matt, 27 today.
You'd also say TJ, because I also said I thought it was 27.
But you get it.
I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't want it.
This is kind of cool because we're playing them on Saturday. Former NBA and Florida player Corey Brewer.
Corey Brewer. He was on that 06-07 team.
Awesome first name. I mean, come on. I mean, seriously.
I don't think he was a senior on that 07 team. Not 100% sure. And then, did his dad play for Arkansas?
Ooh, Ronnie Brewer?
Yeah.
Same last name. I don't not maybe I don't know.
Could not be related.
I feel like the time gap's probably too close to where he could be a son, but who knows?
All right, let's say that 20 years ago he was 21 years old, somewhere in that ballpark. So add 20 to 21, 41 years old potentially.
Wow, quick math.
Maybe 42. Yeah, I'm in that 39 to 43 range. What are you thinking, producer Matt? You probably don't know. You don't know Corey Brewer.
I mean, I know the name, but I couldn't tell you anything about him.
That Florida, that 06 and 07 Florida teams, they really were some of the best national championship teams, especially that 07 team.
07, yeah.
Joakim Noah, Al Horford, Corey Brewer.
Torian
Green. And then the shooter. They had one little shooter.
Lee Humphrey?
Maybe. I think that was the one difference between 06 and 07 was like their guy, the fifth starter potentially.
Isley Humphrey.
I'll say 41 with low confidence, I guess.
Al Horford's, I think, is like exactly 40 right now.
Ooh, okay.
He might be 41.
Ooh, okay.
I know he's right there, like 39 to 41. I'm going to say, if you're going to go 41, I'm going to say he's 40.
Okay. 40-41.
Matt, 40.
There you go.
Look at Matt.
Love it.
Matt, 2 for 2. Let's see if you can get Joe Exotic from Tiger King.
Ooh.
Oh.
Joe Exotic. How old is that guy?
So when did that come out?
That was COVID. It was like
Okay.
2019, 2020,
I want to say
2021.
he was like 41 during the show, maybe, or 51 during the show. I don't know. I've got no idea. I'll say he's 56 today.
It makes me nervous. I kind of thought he was higher than that.
He very well could be. He could be much older than that.
I think I'm going to take a reach on this one. I'm gonna do my heat check. I'm going to say he's 66.
Not close. He's 63 today.
Oh.
No, kind of in
63.
between. Yeah, okay.
Joe
Oh.
Exotic. Next
Who cares about
is.
Joe Exotic?
It was a great show.
Carol Baskin's killer her
Was-
husband.
Was it a great show?
I thought it was really good.
It was.
Next is Phillies DH and left fielder Kyle Schwarber. Former Cub, so I wish Pete was here for this.
Yeah, he actually probably would have a decent guess at it.
I think he's definitely in his early 30s.
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe even mid-30s potentially.
And he played at IU. Sucks for him.
He's probably around my age. I'll say 34.
I was going to go, I'll say 33.
Okay.
Matt, 33. Look at this. I mean, what is going on? 3 for 4.
Texter says, TJ asking if Corey Brewer's Ronnie Brewer's son is maybe the funniest thing on the show since Corey's older than Ronnie.
Well, no. Last of the birthdays, actress Eva Mendes.
I know the name, but I don't know what she's in.
She was in Training Day, Too Fast, Too Furious. She's married to Ryan Gosling, I believe.
Eva.
Ronnie Brewer's son is on Arkansas staff.
Is she the main, like, female protagonist in Fast and Furious?
No, that may be very outdated.
I know she's in the second one. I don't know. I don't recall her character.
Okay.
Who's the person?
Actress Eva Mendes.
Ooh, no idea.
All right, that's great.
51.
53. No idea.
Uni Peak. She's 52 today.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. I was just totally guessing. I have no idea how old Eva Mendes is.
Well, now you do. And knowing is half the battle.
I'll forget that pretty quickly.
G.I. Joe. Next is March 5th events. First up, the crime drama film Crash wins the Oscar for Best Picture at the 78th Academy Awards.
What was the name of the movie?
Crash.
I don't even remember what that movie is about.
What Oscar award was
The 78th Academy
Yeah,
Award.
which one was this most recent one? Wasn't it the 80th or something? Corey's saying no.
I would
Was it the 100th?
definitely.
Was it the 100th? I don't know. No idea. 1982.
1990.
Good guess.
How about 2006? 2006. Crash came out in 005.
The Omen was that should have won.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what won't win an Academy Award? Scream 7.
Oh man, producer Matt hated Scream 7. Corey,
And believe me,
he hated it.
he made me well aware. Believe me, I know.
I literally texted him as I was walking out of the theater.
And I heard, and the texters were like, "Yeah, producer Matt's right. It was a terrible, terrible movie. Did you like it?
I enjoyed it, but I guess I have poor taste in the film, I guess.
Well, maybe you just are easy to please. And if you liked it, that's all that matters, right?
Right, yeah,
You're a
yeah.
happy customer, so that's good. Okay, great.
Next, Michael Jackson's song Billie Jean hits #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart for the first time.
1979.
1980.
1983.
Oh, pretty good guesses
1983.
for a couple youngins like ourselves, producer Matt.
Couple young bucks.
Yep. Strapping young men.
TJ's not that young. But
Pretty young.
Not that young.
Pretty young.
Next, Woodrow Wilson is inaugurated as U.S. president for his second term.
Yeah, Woodrow Wilson. He's pretty forgettable, right? What are you thinking, producer Matt?
Very forgettable. I have no idea.
Do you have like a guess of the century potentially?
I mean, definitely in the 1900s, I'd say.
Yeah.
You should know Wilson. I mean, come on.
I couldn't tell you a
He
year
was
any
the
president is a
president during a very major global conflict, and I'll leave it at that.
Say 1912. Although when were the election years back then?
It would be 12, but the inauguration would be the year, following.
Okay,
obviously.
yeah, you're right. So 1913.
All right.
So the options 13 or
Like 13, 17.
Yeah.
Potentially, yeah.
because it didn't start till 14. So I guess if you choose 13, I guess I'll say 17.
Okay, you go ahead.
Matt, it's 1917.
Look at you. Producer Matt is having
Quick
a
Matt.
hell of a game.
Oh, I didn't
yeah.
Play it twice.
Didn't mean to double up.
I
Sorry,
love
I tried to pause it.
I love it.
All right. The MTV TV series The Osbournes airs its first episode. And
Unfortunately, watched the Osbournes, not
Matt-
like religiously.
Matt
but
would know if he listened to me talk.
kind of like
Tuesday.
reality TV back then was kind of new. It was kind of a big deal. It was like, oh, you get to see how they live? All right. Is he going to eat a bat?
And the answer is not Yellowstone, right, Corey?
Right.
I would say
Okay.
2000 or 2001. Maybe 99, potentially. All those years kind of run together for me.
Yeah, I think it's around there.
Follow your heart, producer Matt.
Something's telling me 2003.
Okay.
Just gut feeling.
All
How
right.
about 2002? You need peak.
Yeah, we do. We really, really do. That's a bummer.
All right. Last of the events.
Somebody said the movie Crash was not that bad at all.
I mean, it won Oscar for Best Picture. So, last of the events. Elvis Presley makes his first appearance on TV on a local show called Louisiana Hayride.
Louisiana Hayride.
First appearance on TV for Elvis.
1950. 1950.
All right.
1952.
1955.
Oh,
Y'all were in the ballpark.
pretty good. Pretty good.
So this
Louisiana Hayride still around?
might be the Mississippi tractor pull now. I don't know. We'll see. So Saturday we're playing Florida. It's senior day. And their head coach is Todd Golden. So I got a little Florida senior day and Todd Golden trivia.
Todd Golden trivia. Wow. Gotta make sure
Yes.
the kids aren't listening for that one, everybody.
I was reaching for questions. He's reaching too. Todd Golden's first NCAA tournament game as a head coach came in 2022 with San Francisco. And they played against this Missouri Valley Conference school in the first round.
Oh, man. Real bummer that Peak's not here. Any
Yeah, I
guesses, producer Matt?
Jeez, no idea.
Gave you a big hint there, though.
He gave a huge hint about Peak.
Oh, that UK
If
fan.
you know
Oh, is it
a lot about Peak.
Murray State?
It is Murray,
Murray State, Matt. There you go.
It is Murray State. Racer. You give that one to Matt, too?
Yeah, that one wasn't me.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
you
Matt,
make
Matt
Kate
did say
Stud.
Murray
Jeez,
State.
please.
And we would have played them if we had beaten St. Peter's. So, but we didn't. So,
I think
Like,
TJ's
I'm
just
just-
mad because he's not carrying his own weight right now.
This is just me feeding you. Like, you're going for a points record now at this point. And I've got a wide open layup, but I'm just giving it off to you. Whatever gets praise from Corey via to Matt. That's all that we care about.
in Todd Golden's senior season at St. Mary's, which is 2007-2008, he played alongside this freshman, who would later go on to play 16 seasons in the NBA, most notably with the San Antonio Spurs.
I'm pretty sure I know this. Producer Matt, you want to take it?
I had no idea.
What holiday's coming up here in a week or two?
I don't know.
You don't know what holiday is coming up in a week or two? It's not a trick question.
No, I don't. Am I missing something here?
What is the lone holiday in March?
Besides March Madness.
St. Patty's Day? I don't
Okay,
know.
there you go. All right.
It's not a holiday, it's celebration.
Can you think of anybody's name similar to that
It
holiday?
has Saint, Patty, or Day in it.
Patrick Patterson?
No, he played
He
at
played
UK.
at UK.
So
I know.
That wouldn't
That's
be right.
That's the first thing that came to
Not
my
St.
mind.
Mary's.
I have literally no idea.
Patty Mills. Was it Patty Mills?
Patty Mills, TJ. There you go.
I wanted trying to
You
get
wanted me
it
to
you
guess
there.
Patty Mills.
I wanted you to think St. Patrick's Day and then say, oh, okay, well, Patty Mills was a Spurs player that went to St. Mary's. There, yeah, I did.
Look,
I did.
I appreciate
exactly
you
what I wanted.
for respecting me and thinking that I knew all of my St. Mary's collegiate player, NBA
He
player.
played
or
16 years
I
in the
think that,
pros.
You know, I started to not feel good about it when you couldn't think of the holiday in March.
It's not a
When you
holiday.
couldn't think of the one
Not
holiday.
a
in
holiday.
March. Well,
St.
it
Patrick's
absolutely
Day.
is.
It is a holiday.
Not a holiday celebration.
It's okay.
That's actually, if we're taking that argument, that's the most direct celebration of all of the celebration/holiday
It's a
arguments.
literal holiday.
All right. Once again, in Todd Golden's senior year at St. Mary's, so 708, the Gales played this ACC school in the first round of the NCAA tournament, who had future NFL tight end Jimmy Graham on the roster.
I know this one. Let's see how Matt and I can butt heads a little bit over this.
No idea.
This school celebrates St. Patrick's Day as a holiday, Matt.
Do you know where Greg Olson went?
No. Oh, no.
Three-leg Greg? Third floor Greg?
Never heard him listed as that before,
I
but
don't think it's three-leg Greg.
They
Maybe third floor.
they had a good football run. They had a good run in football.
Not three-leg.
Any guesses?
no idea.
They had a good run in football. The only ACC team that had a good run in football, producer Matt.
Clemson?
St. Patrick's Day all over again.
Florida State?
No.
These are all great ACC football teams.
Okay, the only team that played in the Collegiate Football National Championship game from the ACC this past season.
Miami?
There you go, Matt. Miami, Florida. Play it.
Play it.
Not playing it.
Then play the music.
Not playing it.
The devil did Jesus. All right, next question.
Oh, what a show. All right. As of today, was the current combined age of Pete Alonso,
Okay.
Aaron Andrews, and Chris Collinsworth, all Florida alum.
Chris Collinsworth.
Yep, Aaron Andrews and Pete Alonso.
Pete Alonso's probably the only one I can't have a decent
Baseball guy.
Decent guess
Mets player.
Yeah, well, no, didn't he just go sign with the Orioles, Baltimore?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Okay, so I think I think he did, and the Mets didn't want to commit to him because he was old, or older, I think. So I'm not gonna walk through this and
Looking at 142.
bore everybody. You're thinking 142.
142.
Let me do the math on this real quick. Make sure I can Google Pete Alonso's age. Oh, okay, that makes it easier. I'm 147.
Ooh, 145.
Wow, both of us were right there. I
So-
went over if we want to do prices right.
The breakdown, Pete Alonso is 31.
Okay, I had 34 there, so that's bad.
Aaron Andrews is 47.
Had 49.
And Chris Collinsworth is 67. 67.
Okay, all right, good deal. All good folks, I'm sure.
When was the last time that UK defeated a top 5 Florida team at Rupp Arena? Florida's number 5 this week in the poll.
When's the last time UK defeated a top 5 Florida team?
At Rupp Arena.
And was UK unranked?
They were not. They were ranked, but that doesn't.
They were ranked.
That doesn't really matter this question, but
Probably more recently than I'm remembering for some reason. Maybe not though. Was it when Florida was number 1? What year was that even? 03? That classic game Florida came in with the
classic
black jersey.
beatdown.
Certainly there's been another one. I mean, Florida was really good in 15, but or 14. Kentucky didn't beat them.
But we lost. Yeah, lost.
Yeah.
them.
All right, well, I'll say 03.
Matt, any guesses?
Maybe 04.
Sure, 04.
TJ 03.
Okay. Wow, that's crazy.
It's been 23 years. They were ranked number 1 and won 70-55. I think we were up 29 at one point in that game. When's the last time that UK defeated the outright SEC regular season champion at Rupp Arena, which Florida is this year? Outright, no ties for first place.
Again, I don't know.
you repeat one more time?
When's the last time that UK defeated the outright SEC regular season champion at Rupp Arena?
This is a helpful hint, but has it been since UK's last won the SEC?
It's prior to that. It's
Okay.
been
It's been a while.
not as far back as 003, but it's been a while.
Interesting. Very interesting.
They've beaten some on the road and not at home, and they've beaten some where they were tied for first, but outright champions at Rupp.
I mean, when was the last?
They beat Tennessee in 24, but that was in Knoxville, so that doesn't count for this question.
Alabama, maybe? Florida is like the only team that has won the SEC somewhat consistently or regularly. Trying to think of if there's any outlier years from any other teams. A&M, no. Texas, no. Missouri, no. LSU, I think, randomly had a year. Could be LSU. Could be LSU. Could be Florida. Are you asking for the team or the year, even?
Team or year,
Okay.
either or.
Mississippi State was randomly kind of good. I don't think it would be them, but it's not impossible that it could be them. It wouldn't be Ole Miss. Arkansas is not impossible, but I don't think it would be them. I don't know what year that would even be. Have I mentioned everybody in the SEC now?
I think you have, yes.
So the only teams that it could
Kinda
be
have
is
to choose
Florida,
one of them.
LSU, and maybe Mississippi State. And then Kentucky would have had to beat them at Rupp Arena. We already went and he said it wasn't 03 Florida.
Right.
I don't know. I really don't. I'll say Mississippi State. Don't know the year that it would even be.
Florida.
Matt's Florida in 2013.
Wow.
Our NIT team beat the 14-4 Florida Gators at Rupp.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Owen Wilson. Wow. How about that?
Can you name the only two UK players since 2000 to score at least 30 points against Florida at Rupp Arena?
Tayshaun Prince, maybe?
Nope.
Keith Bogans, maybe?
Nope.
Okay, good. Off to a hot start.
I will say these two happened in back-to-back years.
Jody Meeks?
Nope.
Jamal Murray, Malik Monk?
Look at TJ go. Murray and Monk.
Nobody. Okay, that's a little generous playing it. I mean, that was like
Murray
legitimately
in
5
2016 and Monk in 2017. Of the original SEC schools still in the conference, there's only one the UK has not played on Senior Day at Rupp Arena since 2000. Can you name that school?
Original SEC members.
That they have not played
The OGs.
on Senior Day at Rupp since 2000. Only one.
Since 2000. Florida, yes. Georgia, yes. Vandy, yes. Did I already say Florida?
Yeah.
LSU, I think last year was Senior Day for LSU, strangely enough. Why am I having a tough time with the original SEC members? Mississippi State, Ole Miss, those ones are questionable. Producer Matt, I think those two, the answer could be one of those two. Who else am I missing? Alabama, Auburn. Tennessee's definitely, I think, would have been a Senior Day at some point. Alabama and Auburn, not impossible. Can I remember? And the UK women's team advances to the
Let's
SEC
go.
tournament quarterfinals.
Bring on.
On South Carolina.
Bring on the Gamecocks.
Who they
That's
just
right.
played, about a week ago?
And
About a
lost
week
by
ago.
4. Yeah, it was close.
Had
I know.
chances in that one, but
I
that
know.
one was at home. This one will not be at home. It'll be their third game in 3 days. So it'll be a tall task for
If this was
Gamebrow's
if
team,
this was Mark Pope's team playing 3 games in 3 days, man, no way.
fatigue's a huge factor.
I mean, Saturday to Tuesday is rough.
All right, what was the question? I was
Of
annoying
the
myself
original
over.
SEC
Okay.
schools still in the conference, there's only one the UK has not played on Senior Day at Rupp Arena since 2000. Can you name that school?
Oh gosh, this is one that really I love. Great question.
Only questions I have, TJ.
What are you thinking, producer Matt? I'll let you just go ahead and take a guess first. I think it's between those 4: Alabama, Auburn, Mississippi State, Ole Miss.
I'm going to say Auburn.
Okay. Auburn's not a bad guess. I'm going to say Mississippi State. I just don't remember those games that late in the year. I think maybe there was a random Ole Miss game at somewhere mixed in there. It could be, Alabama is in a similar category. I just don't remember those games late in the year as well. So this is a fun one. What is it?
TJ, Mississippi State.
Let's go, baby! Feels good. All right.
Get this. The last time they played them on senior day was 1982.
Whoa.
Long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
Can you name the 4 times the UK has lost its last home game of the season since 2000?
Might need to save this one. We got about 40 seconds left.
We'll save it.
We'll save it. Trivia Thursday with Corey Price continues after this.
Matt can tell you when to take a break, but I can't.
He's producing. He's gets the big clock. Yeah, he's got the clock. You just eat some peanut butter pretzels, buddy. Did you say thank you, by the way?
Thank you.
This is Kentucky Roll Call.
Welcome back to Kentucky Roll Call.
I think we ain't done yet.
You personally.
I think we ain't done yet.
With Walker and Peak.
Welcome back. Hour number 2, Kentucky Roll Call on Big X Sports Radio. Want to remind everybody, and maybe we can get it on the YouTube page, we'll be out at Molly Malone's tomorrow doing the show at noon. Stephen Peak, I don't think will be there, although he says he's going to try to swing by for a segment. Maybe Nick Roush will be there. That's the last update that I had potentially heard. That'll be fun. I will be there, though, eating a fish sandwich. It'll be fun. Out at Molly Malone's, Corey Price, in the Highlands.
Yeah, is this for the holiday that Matt doesn't think is a holiday or what?
No, this is just to go out there to Molly Malone's, say what's up. Now, that place will be very busy over the next couple weeks because of that holiday. But, yeah, absolutely. All right, we got to finish Corey Price trivia here on Kentucky Roll Call, and he's got to get back to work. So, Corey, take it away.
So the last question in the last hour, can you name the 4 times the UK has lost its last home game of the season since 2000?
Oh, do we have Pete with us?
Not yet. Let me
Oh,
go
okay.
on.
I thought I heard a voice.
No, it was me playing the music again, and then as soon as I hit play, an ad popped up.
Gotcha. Okay. So the last 4 teams to beat UK at Rupp Arena since 2000.
On their last home game of the season, yes.
Their last home game of the season. And it's 4 different teams.
4 different teams.
No repeat offenders.
No repeat offenders.
All right, I can definitely think of Georgia.
2009, that's one.
Yeah, that was 09. Didn't send Mark Curry or Jared Carter or whoever it was out the right way. Yeah, I guess it would have been Jared Carter. Florida's probably just 1.
Florida in 2006. That's 2 of the 4.
2006, okay. Vandy with Calipari.
Vandy in 23. That's 3 of the 4.
Yeah, was that the Severe Wheeler weird one with Ellen Calipari and stuff like that? I think it was.
Maybe.
I think that was Vandy.
One more.
One more. And it's not one of those 3 teams. Did Tennessee get us on once?
In 2020. Look at you, TJ.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then Kentucky goes on the road and beats Florida.
We had like a 18-point lead in that game and lost it or something. It's something crazy.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I remember that was a bad loss. Okay, well, there we go.
Last one. So Saturday will be the 10th time since 2000 that the UK has played Florida in their final home game, the most of any school. Which school has UK played the second most times in their final home game since 2000?
Since 2000, who has the second most senior day appearances?
Yes, Florida's got 10. This team we played 5 times. Second most.
I would guess Vanderbilt, but it could be Georgia. I'm between those 2. I think those should be our 2 guesses, producer Matt.
Go with me.
All right, Vandy and Georgia.
TJ, it's Vandy.
Yeah.
When the devil come trying to get me, gonna praise the Lord.
Woo!
Played them in 2003, 2011, 2017, 2023, and 2024.
Okay. Last week was not senior day. Would have been a fun way to finish off the year at Rupp Arena, though. The 50th year of basketball at Rupp Arena, right?
This is season number 50. That's right.
All right. Would you like to play a little dozen trivia? Try to win somebody some salsaritas?
Of course.
Wildly addictive chips, burritos, nachos, quesadillas. They can all be yours at Salsaritas. 3 locations in the Louisville area, Middletown, St. Matthews, and out I-65 in Shepherdsville and Bullitt County. They have normal business hours, so if you just go at normal times, they will be open. Just need to say that after somebody else's ad read yesterday didn't go so well. Salsaritas, it's delicious, wildly addictive chips. And if Corey Price gets all 5 of these, you can win some. Are you looking outside at something?
It's raining. That's all.
Okay.
Claire Shack was raining some threes today.
She was. What, has she made 5?
5 threes.
5 threes for
Unreal.
Claire Schrack. That is incredible. They're going to need more of that, and then some.
Yep.
Taking on South Carolina. Okay. NFL, NBA, golf, history, chain restaurants, television, movies, and music. So some tough ones for
I'm
you
going to go
today.
curveball. Let's do some history today.
Okay, that is a curveball. Revolución Libertadora and Guerra Social were civil war / coups in this South American country during the 1900s. Revolución Libertadora and Guerra Social
Can you spell the?
I'll give you a hint. Here's your hint. It's a good soccer country in South America.
Well, I mean.
So that really probably should narrow it down between two, unless I was being cheeky. I'm not.
Argentina or Brazil? Coin flip. I will go Brazil.
No, it's tough. It's Argentina. All right, no salsaritas. Corey, get out. Out of here. You're out. Yeah, it's Argentina. That's a tough one to start. I'm so sorry.
I mean, you butchered the
if I had said it correctly, you would have gotten
probably,
it?
yeah.
Okay. I would have said that seemed a little bit more Spanish, so I would have gone Argentina, then Portugal, and you went with Brazil. So yeah, you just got to know your Portuguese versus your Spanish there, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. All right, I'll pick them for you now since there will be no Happy Salsaritas Day.
No.
Mountain Dew Berry Bash. Mountain Dew Berry Bash is a drink exclusive to this major sit-down chain. This is another tough one. Another tough one. All right, so if Chili's was kind of like the Tex-Mex Southwestern version of a sit-down chain, this is like your home, just your Americana, homegrown. Almost said the word that would give it away.
Applebee's?
It's Applebee's, yeah! Almost said neighborhood. All right.
No music, huh?
There you go.
Thanks, Matt.
Do you want, I think we've got pecan, which probably means you can't do the music. Or do you want NFL, NBA, golf, television, movies, or music? We were going to do chain restaurants one way or another.
Movies, man.
Okay. Michael Keaton played Batman again in this 2023 superhero film. It's not Batman again.
Right.
But Michael Keaton played Batman again in this 2023 superhero film. Yeah, the superhero films are just getting out of control. They're out of control. We are out of control.
Is it the League of Justice?
It's The Flash.
Oh.
Okay. Now you're just playing for pride at this point.
Yep.
Do you want television or music?
Music, why not?
Okay, hopefully something I get to sing. All the crazy bleep. Actually, I can definitely not sing that. All the crazy bleep I did tonight, and it's getting late, but I don't mind, are lyrics from this 2009 David Guetta and Kid Cudi song. All the crazy bleep I did tonight, they will be my best memories. I just want to night.
Jesus, I don't know.
It's memories. I even said it in the word. Okay, just
that
a total
was
botching
an
from Corey
abysmal
Bryce.
Performance.
Let's give it up for Corey, everybody.
I did the exact opposite of Miss Strack today.
We're going to need the Cats to be better tomorrow than you were today and next week. But we're planning on talking with Corey on Tuesday. There is a chance that UK basketball will impact this show next week, so we've got to keep that in mind. There's a chance that Kentucky could be playing while we're on the air. Obviously, we wouldn't be doing shows when that's happening. So we could potentially do a lead-in. I don't know. I guess we'll have to figure that out. We need to know what time they're going to be playing. All right, anyways, Corey, thank you. Be well.
Thank you.
Do well.
I will.
And all that you do. All right. Corey Price, everybody. He's heading up to Miami to see if Miami of Ohio can complete a undefeated regular season tomorrow. Who are they taking on? Ohio? Just regular Ohio? All right, so Ohio versus Miami of Ohio. Is it? It's in Athens. Like 3-3, and he has your mic off. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, have fun. Be safe getting up there.
Thanks.
Sorry about your male Bulldogs. Hell of an effort against Ballard. Sorry to bring that up. All right. Do we have Stephen Peak on now, producer Matt?
We do.
All right, Stephen Peak. You've piqued my interest. What's up?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Oh, not much. Just finished playing some trivia. What's up with you? Doing some radio.
Oh yeah. I'm busy today. Actually, I didn't make the trip to Lexington for Mark Pope's press conference. I'm busy working on a long form video. TJ, I think you're gonna love it. It's in defense of Mark Pope, so I'm sure everyone in Kentucky, all the Kentucky fans will probably eat me alive for this one. But it's a fun video. I think people will like it even if they disagree with me. So that's what I'm working on today. Tomorrow I'll be in Lexington to talk with the future executive in residence. So that'll be a good time. Excited to hear more about that role and all the good things it's going to bring to the University of Kentucky. Excited for it.
What's this positive Mark Pope butt slapper piece that you're working on?
It's it's not all in on me thinking that Mark Pope is going to work out, but it is sort of a TJ, for the last, I would say, I don't know, 2 years of my life, I've just been going back and forth in my head about, is this going to work or is it not? And so I'm just kind of putting a lot of those thoughts into one piece and kind of get people to understand, like, there has been some good things. This could work. I do bring up the this is a dangerous comparison, I understand that, but I do bring up the fact that, Mike Krzyzewski, when he started out, was about ready to get fired, and after his third season, and the GM was, we need a GM. The athletic director, the AD, they called Mike Krzyzewski into his office and said, basically, like, Mike Krzyzewski thought he was going to get fired, and he decided to keep him. Obviously, Coach K goes on to be the winningest coach college basketball history. Dan Hurley thought his job was on the line back in 2023 after 4 whatever seasons, and then losing 6 of 8 in his 5th season, and he didn't get fired, then won back-to-back national championships. Now, the counter to that, TJ, is that Indiana kept Tom Crean for 9 years, and the best he ever did was go to the Sweet 16. So really, the video is just sort of my ambivalence about how I argue against myself daily. So I'm just kind of putting that into video form for people to see where my head is with all of this. But no, it's going to be good. I'm excited for it, excited for the backlash I will get, because I got that when I did an In Defense of Calipari video a few years ago. But yeah, that's what I'm working on today. I didn't get to hear trivia at all this time, so I'm kind of disappointed. I'll have to go back and listen if it's up on podcast, which we haven't figured out how to get it on the Roll Call podcast feed, right?
Haven't heard any updates, so I would guess the answer to that is no, but we are uploading it to the Big X Sports Radio podcasting platform. Trivia went well. Same old. Got some right, got some wrong. Some silly questions from Corey Price, some really good ones from Corey Price. You know how it goes. Well, I'm excited to see that video. Even if I don't totally agree with it all, it's always good it's thought-provoking. It's good to hear a difference of opinions, gets you to think differently, think different ways. Obviously, I'm sure you probably addressed this, but huge difference between college basketball landscape in 1980 versus 2026, right?
Slightly. But, that's why I do want to have the more recent comparison with Dan Hurley. However, these aren't like completely apples to apples comparisons, but it's just something to think about. And there are bright spots. I do have to bring up the injuries and all of that, but this is a constant argument I'm having with myself. I will see glimpses of stuff and think, man, this guy can really coach. His attention to detail is so good, especially when you compare it to the attention to detail that we had with the last coaching staff. So, like, I get excited and I think, this is going to work. And then I think, okay, but why aren't they able to sign anyone? Like, why were you 0 for 23 on trying to land recruits? Why was the transfer portal not an overwhelming success with the $22 million they had to spend? So all of that's in there. I think I try to make a fair argument for Mark Pope, but you can also, throughout the video, you'll hear me doubt myself throughout the entire time, because that's just me being honest. Like, I think he will work, but maybe it won't. Like, that's just like just being purely honest about how you can't predict this. Like, this whole thing is, this whole team, last year's team, this year's team is so unpredictable. You would love to see what it would look like with no injuries, but we may never see that. Like, they might have injuries again next year. TJ, it's insane. I went through like the last few years of BYU when he was there. Every season was clouded with injuries. Like, it's unbelievable, the injury luck that this guy has had. And at some point you do wonder, like, well, is it something he's doing? Like, how is that it can't be something he's doing, though, right? Because it's just random injuries, like a torn labrum for one of his star players in BYU. Several guys couldn't even play at any point of the season because they got hurt in the offseason. And you're seeing, like, that happen again at Kentucky. I don't know how he keeps his sanity dealing with that.
Yeah, it's that I didn't know that he always had injury issues at BYU. Yeah, it's the injury stuff. We talk about it every day.
Every day.
You can't avoid it. It is a realistic thing for Mark Pope in his 2 years at UK. But that being said, injuries don't have anything to do with zero recruits, Stephen Peak.
Right.
That's a whole different can of worms. That's a whole different ball game. We actually just like randomly tuned in the Mark Pope press conference right at that moment when he was talking. Well, like we got to hear the walk-on answer, which good night. That nearly put everybody to sleep. But then he talked the recruiting question. We were like, all right, well, this is pretty good. We'll let this one play a little bit longer. And I'm just so ready for him or a different coach just to show some confidence in recruiting. And instead of, oh, this is new times and everything's new and we don't know what it's going to look like and it's a changing landscape and we just want to make sure that we're organized. I just want a coach to go out there and say, yeah, hey, we've missed on some guys. That's changing. I'm going to make sure that we get the best of the best to come to Kentucky, and they need to understand they need to play in my system. Like, Will Stein has more confidence as a dude who's never been head coach before than the head coach of the University of Kentucky basketball team, who has a war chest that 99.9% of other programs are envious of. And, well, we don't know. We sometimes it's good for, we got to find a good fit for us and a good fit for them. And then meanwhile, you've got Will Stein at UK football saying, kids are going to want to play for Will Stein. Everybody wants to coach with Will Stein. Everybody wants to play with Will Stein. He's using third person, Stephen Peak. That's the confidence level of this dude leading the football program. And meanwhile, Dopey Popey is just over there. Oh, I don't know. It's changing. We got to see. We got to monitor. We got to follow the rules. I'm so sick of how he filibusters any recruiting question. It's just,
Because he has no, I mean, let's be honest why that's happening. Like, because he has no good news to share.
Yeah, so then Kentucky's got to get somebody that can get some recruits.
Yeah, I mean that'll be his downfall. I mean, that was Tubby Smith's downfall. When the recruits stopped coming, when he was unable to convince guys to come play for him. Look, TJ, it shouldn't be this hard, man. It shouldn't be this hard. You got the money, you have the resources, you have the massive fan base, you get to play in Rupp Arena, you have all of the attention with, I mean, how many games are on national TV? You get to be the most watched team even when they're not that good. I mean, how many games this year has Kentucky, I wouldn't say set records, but at least like this season, they're in the top, how many games are in the top 10 and most watched featuring Kentucky? Like, you have all the reasons to be able to land big time recruits, and it hasn't really happened. Like, you got two kids who grew up in Kentucky. I mean, technically you had a Caden Lewis until something happened. But even with the transfer portal, it's like, as I went through and was writing this video essay, I pulled some quotes from Colin Chandler, Lamont Butler, Andrew Carr, Jackson Robinson's mom, who all these people were saying, like, playing for Mark Pope has been such a blessing in our life. And even I pulled a quote from Cody Feger, who said a referee came up to him and said, kids are gonna love playing in this system. So it made me think, well, gosh, the recruiting stuff should just be so easy. That's what I thought. Like, at the end of last season, I was thinking, like, this is gonna be just as easy in this era. He doesn't need to have the sort of Calipari cachet to be able to land big recruits. And it just hasn't happened. And it's very concerning. It is. It's the most concerning thing about the Pope era right now. And we'll see how the transfer portal goes. I just don't, I don't like putting all of our eggs into the transfer portal basket, especially when you're looking around college basketball and seeing so many freshmen doing superstar things.
No, you're exactly right. You feel a lot better about the transfer portal going into it when you know, all right, well, we should have a couple of these guys back. We've got 2 stud recruits coming in, so we really only need 1 or 2 stars from the portal. And it allows you to be a bit selective. It allows you to be patient. It allows you to be picky. And you can say, all right, that's the guy we absolutely have to go get. And then you can put all your resources into going to get that guy. But when you're like, all right, we got to go get a shooter, We got to go get a big. We've got to go get a veteran. We got to go get a point guard that we feel like. Then it is. You're right. It can become a lot trickier. It's better to at least have one recruit, so hey, that is our 4 next year, or that is our 3 next year. We're fine at that position, but it's just a mess. And he obviously, if he had better answers, he'd give better answers. If he had better solutions, he'd have recruits lined up. He's not able to do those things. Jacob Polachek yesterday, when talking about Dink Pate, he said as much. This is a desperation move by UK staff. They don't have any other recruits. He can be, quote unquote, maybe a recruit for them. So it's disappointing. We all wanted this to go better. It hasn't gone well enough. But the thing is, Peak, next year will just have to be a make or break year for him. And we'll see what he does in the offseason. There is a chance that he whiffs in the offseason. The team that he puts together, we know on paper isn't good enough. I'm afraid that may be the case. I'm worried if we could fast forward to 2 or 3 months, that's where we'll find ourselves is, oh no. Like the first 2 years were a bit rocky. Injuries were a bit of like a legit excuse here, but recruiting was always very head scratching. And now we're looking at a roster on paper that we can't even butt slap or convince ourselves to get excited about. Here we go again. That would lead to a very toxic November and December where any loss would be magnified and blown up and just be annoying. And then all year it'd be, well, do you fire him? We got to fire him. Definitely fire him. And then if Kentucky went on any sort of run, then you'd get some butt slappers that'd be like, see, told you all. Now do you want to fire him? And it just won't be fun. It just won't be fun. It's a very real scenario, though. That very much could be where Kentucky finds themselves if Mark Pope just doesn't hit a grand slam in the portal. And that's the thing that worries me, Peak, is just the conversations you and I were having back in October and even in September when we were previewing the basketball season. Good isn't good enough for Kentucky fans. We need a dominant season. We need a year from November and December. We're not saying you have to be undefeated. Kentucky fans, hell, we've had no other choice, but we can accept a loss here or there. But it needs to be top 5, top 10 throughout the season. Okay, you slip up, that's all right. You follow it up with a 5 or 6 game winning streak. It needs to be back to competing for an SEC championship, winning the SEC regular season, being the number 1 seed in the SEC tournament, winning the SEC tournament, get back to being 1, 2 seeds in the NCAA tournament. And I just worry, are we too far gone from that being a possibility? Like, with next year, is that option even on the table with potential returnees and what they realistically could get in the portal? And you think about all the best pieces in the portal from this past year. Yeah, if you assembled them, if you took the best 4 or 5, you're going to have one of the top teams in college basketball. But we don't know that Mark Pope's going to be able to even go get those guys. And he wasn't able to last year. Yaxel Lindenberg said no. Silas Demery, he said no. He went to UConn instantly after meeting with Mark Pope. He missed on the majority of his transfer portal targets last year. So it's the ice is thin.
Yeah, I mean, I am worried about that, like, a lot. I hope that, because the thing is, TJ, and we talked about it yesterday, going through the portal to try to pick out the better players on other good teams is just going to be so expensive. I mean, you're going to find yourself in bidding wars, and you might have a lot of spots to fill.
It's a great
1,
point. Because
you didn't land freshmen. 2, because some of the guys that you brought in this year who were underclassmen, you might not want to bring back. There might even be at least one guy that you brought in a couple years ago as an underclassman, and you don't want to bring him back for his senior year. So, and like that's troubling. That makes me worried. I went back and I looked. Tubby Smith, he went 32-4, whatever it was, his first year, and he basically, if you think about it, he had a GM. It was Rick Pitino. And he put that team together for him. And so Tubby, as a great on-the-court coach, helped them get to a national championship. But from there to 2002, 2003, he lost 9 games or more. And it wasn't until the 2002-2003 season that he earned his first 1 seed. So that was his 6th season, I think, that he finally got to a 1 seed, 5th or 6th season. I'm struggling with the math in my head, but yeah, I mean, it took Tubby that long to kind of figure it out and have a good enough recruiting class and have the right pieces fit before he even could have a good solid team. Now, they didn't go to a Final Four or anything like that, but that was a great year. And I agree, like, Kentucky fans are realistic about how random the tournament can be, but we got to be dominant every few years minimum. Like, you have to. So I think that's what's got to happen next year. It's partially why, TJ, you heard me yesterday. It sounded depressing and maybe it bummed people out the way I was just like, let's just get the season over with. And kind of what I mean by that is I don't want Kentucky to lose, but I am anxious to get to the offseason so that we can start focusing on the roster build for a very, very critical 3rd season of Mark Pope. Because while Dan Hurley, got 4 bad, well, I guess you can call them bad years. I don't think he didn't win a tournament game his first 4 years at UConn.
I think you're wrong about that, for what it's worth.
All right, well, I'll look it up in the break. But
well, okay, no, you are actually right. He did not win a tournament game, but he did make the tournament his 3rd and 4th year. So it wasn't like all doom and gloom. And I think he finished top 3.
That's what Mark Pope's doing. Like, he went to a Sweet 16. He's
finished top 3 in his conference. Sorry, I don't know if you heard me. He finished top 3 in his conference as well.
Yeah, it was I guess the Big East, but or what was it? Were they in the Big East?
Yeah, well, so I guess it would have been the switch from the American to the American to the Big East.
Okay, so
probably half and half, I would guess.
I don't. What I'm saying is that I don't think Kentucky fans are going to be that patient. I don't think they're going to want to wait until year 5 before he figures it out. And again, like that year 5 of Dan Hurley, he lost 6 of 8 games and got in as a 4 seed, and the bracket opened up and he went on a run and they won the national championship by beating San Diego State. And it wasn't until his 6th season that he actually figured it out, got a 1 seed, and became the Dan Hurley that Kentucky fans wanted. So there is like a need for some patience, but you're right, TJ. This isn't even the same college basketball that it was in 2018-19 or whatever Dan Hurley took, 2019-20, whatever it was that he took over. People expect results to happen right away, and especially when you have the money that Mark Pope got this past offseason to build his roster. They don't want this to be a 5-year build. I mean, we just can't go through the entire 2020s not winning anything. That can't happen. If you go a whole decade without winning something, conference, regular season, SEC tournament title, winning your region to get to a Final Four, I mean, you start to slip from the blue blood status a little bit. So that can't happen. So a lot's got to go different next year. I'm excited for it. I'm trying to hype myself up for this game on Saturday to talk myself into maybe Kentucky pulling off an upset and trying to show once again that this coaching staff at least has the coaching chops to get it done.
It would be so funny if they won on Saturday and then ended up somehow with the scenario that they still get the double bye. And it's just like, oh, okay, well, after all that, they're still starting their SEC tournament journey on Friday. And then they end up like making it to Sunday, and we all calm down a little bit. I would love for that to happen. And I wouldn't be surprised if they won on Saturday. It's senior day at Rupp Arena. Kentucky, I think, has only lost like 5 or 6 senior day games all time. So it's just not something that happens all that frequently. Florida will rightfully be favored in that game, but hopefully the Cats can pull it off. If they play like they did against Vandy the previous Saturday, they're going to have a really good chance to do it. All right, let's read some text on the Gameday Men's Health text line, and then we're going to take our last commercial break. A texter says, 5-year build for a top program in 2026 is not acceptable. Totally agree. You could not compare Tubby years to now. The offseason has changed so much. Yeah, and I think most people know that. And Peak, I'm excited to see your video, but it's just right now is there's nothing you can compare this era of college basketball, this time in college basketball to anything previously. And you would need a scenario almost of like bringing in a coach with a really, really good roster and a really, really good situation and just seeing how they did, because I know people don't want to hear it, or it's really hard for their brains to be able to convince themselves because the times are different. But Mark Pope was not in a tough spot. Year one, if you want to make a case having to just build a roster from scratch, that's fine. Again, he did it with the transfer portal and did a good job with it. But year two, he just doesn't get that pass that he got in year one. If you even want to give it to him in year one, you had as much money as any program in college basketball. And you know, maybe there were some that maybe ended up having more than Kentucky. But regardless, your top three, your top five. All right, well, then you have some injuries. Well, you know, there's nothing really you can do about that. But then dominate the areas that you can dominate. And he's not dominating any areas, not recruiting, not on the floor. The play is incredibly inconsistent. Even with the injuries that you've had, the team has been what it is the last month and a half, however long it has been. And it's still just been wildly inconsistent. How can a team lose to one team by 35 points or whatever it was and then come back around and then be up 20 the majority of that game? It's got to come back on coaching at least a little bit in that regard. So you can't really compare it to anything, in my opinion. He has all the resources. Either get it done, or we need to find somebody that can get it done.
Yeah, I totally agree with the texter that 5 year build in 2026 is not acceptable. If you have another season like this, and again, like, the injuries are an issue, but I just don't think you can make that same excuse 3 years in a row. And it's not because it just be like I think you said it best, TJ, a few days ago. Hell, it might have been a week ago. All this stuff runs together sometimes. But you said, if it happens again, you might just have to be like, look, Pope, we're sorry. Like, you had bad luck. It is what it is. But we got to bring in somebody who can turn this thing around overnight. And we can't have this going on for another couple years, because nationally, and the way you're going to recruit those agents, those parents, they're not going to care that you were dealing with injuries. They're going to look and go, I mean, Kentucky's not relevant. They're not playing for anything. Why do I want to send my 5-star to go play for you when it's apparently not working? You know, and you could break it all down for them. Well, we had this injury. They're not going to listen to that. Like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just can't happen again next year. Like, he has to have good injury luck. Because if you have another season like this, they may not spend $22 million, but they're going to be big spenders in the transfer portal. And if you do this again, well, for one, people aren't going to want to give their money up for this, and two, you're going to really lose the fan base, and every single bad loss is going to be hyper fixated on.
There's no doubt about that, and that's just not fun. That wouldn't be fun for anybody. According to Matt Sack, says one texter, Pope met with Silas Demery and decided it wasn't a good fit. I'm sure that's exactly how it went. Always love when Matt Sack gets a charade on the Gameday Men's Health text line. Obviously, I like Sack, and I don't doubt that maybe he's got a little intel here or there. Obviously, that's not how it went. And if it is how it went, what could be so off-putting so quickly? Silas says, I want all the shots. I want to run the offense. I'm the guy. If it's good enough for Hurley, a dude who has won 2 championships in the last 3 seasons, I don't know, Pope, you need to maybe come around to thinking it's good enough for you. And then if it was a money thing, well, dude, that's the point guard position. You need to spend. He was one of the top point guard players in the portal, and you said no to him, and look how it worked out. And look how UConn's season's going. Look how your season's going. So even if you did meet for 10 minutes and decided it was a bad fit, you maybe should have determined it was a good fit. I don't know. Have it go better, because he's a good player. Everybody wanted him. You instantly flew to him. You wanted to show how badly you wanted him. And then it was quickly determined that it wasn't going to be a fit. Wonder why. And whatever the reason is, not good for UK. All right, final commercial break. This is Kentucky Roll Call on Big X Sports Radio. Join us tomorrow out at Molly Malone's in the Highlands. Stephen Peak, producer Matt Childress, TJ Walker.
Let's go.
final segment, Kentucky Roll Call on Big X Sports Radio, 96.1 FM, 1450 AM. TJ Walker, Stephen Peak, producer Matt Childress. No Bellarmine today, but they play in the ASUN quarterfinals tomorrow, which is exciting. I think they will be playing when we're out at Molly Malone. So come on out. I'll just tell you, where did the ad read go? My roll call pick of the day is just a system play tomorrow. Take the Bellarmine team over. And the roll call picks of the day are brought to you by Chad Hennessy with InsureMax, proudly serving the Louisville area for over 25 years. Call Chad Hennessy at InsureMax today at 502-479-4085, 502-479-4085. Bellarmine, they'll have a chance, and if they win tomorrow, they'll be 2 wins away from an NCAA tournament berth, which will be pretty great. Stephen Peak, we can hear you tip-tapping away at the computer, but I was going to throw it back to you here in a moment anyways, but you can mute yourself or not. Where do you want to go this segment, Peak? I'm sure you've got a couple things on your mind. I'm good reading the text messages. I know they'll bring up a couple things that we want to bring up on the Gameday Men's Health text line, but where do you want to go?
Yeah, I've seen a few of those. Let's go ahead and get to some of them. I have some thoughts on a few of them. We can just go down the line.
See, I like to go, this is interesting between Peak and myself. I like to go into the text just mostly blind. Like, I'll see it, and I'll read it, and I'll react to it. Peak likes to do a bit of scouting and blueprinting, which is probably the smart thing to do because then he knows what he's talking about, where I sometimes just come off as a dingus. You know, he's praying that UK makes an internal hire at AD. New AD in a make-or-break year 3 for Pope would be spicy. Every time Pope speaks, you can see why Barnhart loves him. So those two texts went hand in hand. He says that Pope wants UK to hire from within. That is going to be really hard for whoever the AD is, whether it's an in-house hire or an out-of-house hire. Next year is a make-or-break year for Mark Pope. I'm sorry. If next year is anything like this past year, you just can't run it back a year 4. And they'll probably try to. It just, that's not going to be good. And if next year somehow is worse than this year, then it's a no-brainer. You'll just have to absolutely move on from him. But that's going to be tough for an AD in their first year to say, all right, former national championship basketball player, I know I'm new here, but hit the road. But you know what? If that's what the AD needs to do, then that's going to be a good show of strength early in his or her tenure at Kentucky. That, hey, I'm not scared to make big moves. Basketball has to be the best in the country, and I'm going to make sure that I do that. I do like that whenever Kentucky will hire another basketball coach, and I hope it's not for a long time, and I hope Mark Pope works out. I am happy that it will not be Mitch Barnhart making that hire. I'm happy about that, Stephen Peak.
Yeah, and to your point, I think that it actually is going to be tougher for an outside hire to let go of Mark Pope than it is for somebody who's already a part of the athletic department that is associated with Mitch, that probably did have probably shared their opinions on Mark Pope. I think it would be tough for an outsider to come in, especially somebody who would have no connections to Kentucky, to fire a guy who won a national championship here. So, yeah, and like, I don't know. I mean, that guy could come in and say, like, okay, I got to turn this thing around right now. But I honestly think that if they bring in somebody from the outside, Mark Pope is actually going to be more guaranteed a 4th year. That's just my opinion. I don't know. They could hire somebody who is willing to take risk, and because it's a big thing. Like, and the other thing is too, like, will the outside coach like come in with people in mind that he can kind of get feelers out there a little bit? Or will we be in a situation kind of like when Cal left where, I think with some of this stuff, if we'd have known, that Calipari was leaving, that we knew that it was coming to an end, Barnhart probably could have got ahead of it and could have got other coaches that you may have wanted thinking about it, instead of having to make such a quick decision, such a huge, massive decision for their families, for themselves. To just, Nate Oates probably needed some time to think about it. Other guys probably needed some time to think about it instead of just saying, all right, I'm going to take it. Let's just move my whole family. I'm going to move away from, in Nate's case, move away from my family. And I'll figure everything out later. I just think that they needed more time to kind of like let that decision settle. And if there is a coaching search in the next few years, I hope at least that the new AD will have already had some feelers put out there, because the one that Mitch did have was the first to turn him down, and Scott Drew. So
Texter says, let's just say Mark Hill and Pope have a lot in common. What's that referencing?
I think they're both Mormon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That would be something.
But, Christians, he's a Christian, but, Catholics fire Catholics. Mormons can fire Mormons. It doesn't mean that he'll be loyal to him just because of
the connections people would make, though. That would the talking points would be something if that happened. Mark Pope complaining about the Saturday-Tuesday turnaround might be the most embarrassing thing ever said by a Kentucky coach at the podium. Worse than anything Cal ever said to offend a certain portion of the fan base. We have one player averaging over 30 minutes a game. The complaining about the fatigue stuff has gone too far. I will say this, Texter, Calipari, back in the day, I miss this. I wish they'd go back to doing this, and you make it a big deal, and you could feature like a big game on this night. But Cal did complain about Thursday, Saturday SEC turnarounds, which is still not the same as Saturday, Tuesday, right? There's still an extra day baked in there. But Cal did one time complain about Thursday, Saturday SEC games, and they got rid of them for what they're worth. They never did them again after Cal complained. He used to have a little weight around this sport, but that's not even the same thing as a Saturday, Tuesday turnaround. The fatigue talk is just too much. Why are these dudes fatigued? They're 18, 19, 20-year-old dudes. They're getting paid millions of dollars to play a sport. Then you got to look at conditioning at that point if fatigue's actually a factor.
Well, which Mark Pope should know so much about. I mean, that was Rick Pitino's thing, right? To press and they had trash cans set up during their practices so guys could throw up because he was running them so much. We don't need to hear any more about this because, I mean, in the NCAA tournament, they're not going to change that schedule. You will be doing Thursday, Saturday, or Friday, Sunday. So, yeah, nobody wants to hear that. I would much rather Mark Pope get up there every press conference and say, we're injured and we're trying to make this work, blah, blah, blah. I'd rather him say that because that's a more understandable excuse than to go up there and say that our guys are getting too tired. Everybody else is playing the same kind of schedule. And Darius Acuff played 50 minutes, and he didn't have a considerable drop in minutes the following game. So that's not gonna do it for me.
A texter says the other team's playing Saturday, Tuesday too. That's totally correct. Our friend from Des Moines, hope everything in Des Moines is going well. They text in and says Providence coach fired. Oh no, not Kim English. Alabama just got a commitment from another small forward. Do we have an opening for Caleb Holt? Wasn't there some other bigger competition for Caleb Holt than Alabama? Wasn't there another leader perceived? I thought maybe like Arizona or something like that. Am I making that up? I could be misremembering that. Kim English, I always thought that was kind of an interesting hire for Providence. He was at George Mason, but he never finished better than 5th in the A-10 at George Mason. And it was like, this is the guy that you think's ready. But I think they thought that Kim English was going to be able to hit it off with recruits, bring in some talent, motivate donors, and get some money into the program. But at the end of the day, recruiting, having relationship, making relationships with players and for 2 or 3 years, it just doesn't matter as much. You hear coaches talk about it all the time. You can build a relationship for 2 to 3 years, text about how school's going and about after all their games and stuff like that. And then in the 12th hour, school comes in, doubles the nil offer, and they say, sorry, coach, I have to do it. So relationships just don't matter as much in recruiting. Now, you can't be like a dingus. You couldn't have Dan Dockage on the recruiting trail or anything like that. But I just think like being able to hit it off with the recruits doesn't matter as much as being able to offer them a lot of money. So Kim English, Maybe just his biggest strength, potentially relationship building. It didn't pay off at Providence. And after 3 seasons, they're 11-15 this year. Never had a record better than 500 in the Big East when he was the coach. So don't blame Providence there whatsoever. But I had not seen that, Texter, until you had brought it up, so appreciate that. Texter says, I thought the other leader was Providence. I'm not sure what you mean by that.
He meant for Caleb Holt. Providence was one of the top schools.
Oh gosh, I didn't even realize Caleb. That shows how out of the game I am, Des Moines guy. I didn't know that. Now that you say that, I guess I do remember their logo being there. He was never going to go to Providence, though. That was never going to happen. Patrick Murphy says you all went 11 of 16 in trivia, carried by Matt. So does that mean out of 27 questions, we only got 11 right? I think that's what he's saying. Way to go, Matt. You carried it today.
Thank you. I got to pull my weight sometimes.
You're the hero of trivia. A texter says, thank you. When I can't find the podcast, it makes me want to curl up in bed. And we don't do that. It's not worth it. But we're on the Big X account for now. Patrick Murphy, anything else? Okay. Another texter says, 5-year rebuild in 2026 is not acceptable. Yeah. TJ, we read that one already. Corey snapped at Matt last week, and now he's making suggestions. Oh, yeah, about when to take commercial breaks. Someone's getting a little too big for his britches. Take him down a level. He snapped at you, Matt?
I remember him getting sassy with me about something, but I don't remember what it was.
I didn't know if that could have been on just the Cats Tuesday edition or something like that.
No, I think it was during trivia, but I don't remember what it was about.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I gave him peanut butter pretzels, which I don't even know if he thanked me for, which I don't do for the thanks. It's not about the thanks. Thanks aren't even important to me. But probably not. He's getting fed. Probably thinks that this behavior is being encouraged. I should do the opposite. We need to take the peanut butter pretzels away. Although if we do leave them in the studio, they don't last very long, do they, producer Matt?
They do not.
Is that your doing?
That is not my doing.
Who do you think it is?
I'm not a big peanut butter pretzel guy. I'd say it's probably Roman Kelly.
Who do you think has the worst munchies at the studio?
It's definitely probably Roman Kelly.
Scooch, potentially?
I don't know. He tries not to snack at work. Now, what he does outside of work, I don't know. But he definitely tries not to snack here.
Okay. If somebody wanted to be mean, there would be a low-hanging fruit joke there. I'm not going to take it. So, there you go. How about that?
I'd let somebody else take it.
Not going to be me, though.
Double it and give it to the next person.
Double it and give it to the next person. About Scoots not eating snacks at the office. Another texter on the Gameday Men's Health text line says, I love watching, respectfully turn this bleep off regarding Mark Pope, talking about walk-ons. John here, boys, all of us texters are always here on the text line, even if it's not working. We are some pretty good, loyal individuals on the text line. The Cats will beat the baby Gators, a.k.a. the hatchlings. Well, we got to go talk to you later. Well, thanks, John. Hope you're right about that. Another texter says, something I forgot to mention on the text line is that I went to the Male Ballard game on Tuesday, by far one of the best high school games I've ever watched. It's truly crazy how deep the 7th region is this year. Environment was mayhem. Yeah, so UK, they were playing, and that game was so boring on Tuesday and taking so long. I did double TV setup, and I watched the Male Ballard game that you were at, and that was just an awesome high school game. Yeah. Ballard had no answer for Mitchell on Male, who I think had 41 points. And then Male was having a tough time just getting any sort of stops on Cole Edlin and just Ballard in general. Ballard has that big 7-foot. Is he a freshman or whatnot? He's pretty good. He's pretty good for a big guy. That was a great game. And then tomorrow night, Stevens Trinity Shamrocks versus St. X out at Valley at 6 o'clock. And then it'll be those Ballard Bruins versus Manual. If I were setting lines just on my dumb opinion, I would have probably Ballard giving 9.5 to 11.5 over Manual. And then I would have St. X probably giving 8.5 to Trinity, but I would take Trinity. I think that game's going to be close. I think St. X has played Trinity at least 2 times, if not 3 times this year. And I want to say maybe one game was close and then the other one's not so close. But Trinity's playing well, and they're a pretty solid team. They've got 2 people that were all 7th region, first, second teams. The Jaden Johnson fella, and then the other guy's name is escaping me right now. But that's going to be some really, really high-level, good, exciting basketball out at Valley. And then I want to say maybe the region championship is on Monday, potentially. So if that's St. X versus Ballard on Monday, that's going to be must-see basketball. And then if it's one of those 2 teams gets upset, should still be a solid game. So there's a little high school basketball talk for you, Stephen Peak.
Yeah, I always love the 7th region games are just the gyms are always so packed. I haven't been to a game in a long time, but every time I would go, I almost have a headache when I would leave because of just like the constant noise and of the crowd, and it's fans are just right on top of the court. It's a good time.
Yeah, it's kind of different than college basketball. It's more like screaming, cheering than it is just like hooting and hollering. It's kind of hard to explain, but yeah, I totally hear you that. Playing on Wednesday is our best chance at winning another game. That's how far UK Hoops has fallen. No longer the gold standard, more like the brass standard, says one texter. Kind of like the gold from a distance, but not the real thing. Okay, that's a good way to finish the show. Everybody have a great Thursday. Thanks again to Corey Price for trivia. Stephen Peak, safe travels getting back home, and we will be at Molly Malone's tomorrow. Maybe Nick Roush making an appearance. This is Kentucky Roll Call on Big X Sports Radio.